Okay, as you all know that sometimes clients can be very choosy or selective towards the functionality, or sometimes they require a feature for a specific project. So here comes the entry of custom module, which can actually save us to fall down. Hey guys, Nitin Lama this side. Happy to be here. Today I'll be discussing about custom module development. What is a module? What are core modules? What are contributed modules? And at last, a demo for the output result. Now, what is a module? So a module is a set of PHP, JavaScript, or CSS files that extend site features and adds functionality. A module is developed for a purpose, right? So there are three categories of modules: core module, contributed module, custom module. What are core modules? Now, as the name suggests, modules that are included in any Drupal installations are core modules. Okay, so Drupal comes with default modules to manage user accounts, basic content fields, and navigation menus. So those modules are core modules. For example, node module, block module, views module, views UI module, media module, and layout builder module, and etc. Now, what are contributed modules? Again, the name suggests modules which you have to, go and download from drupal.org, but it is not included in the Drupal core package, are contributed modules. So these are modules, which are built for some specific purposes. So if you want to download it, so you can visit drupal.org and find your module for your purpose. So according to me, some of the contributed modules which I find very um, essential for uh, to like for the Drupal side to enhance the capability are admin toolbar, redirecting path auto, develop web forms, paragraphs. So these are some modules which is a must-have uh, after your Drupal installation. Okay. So now the question is how modules are created, right? So as I said earlier that clients do have some requirements which we have to achieve it anyhow. So those requirements can vary. So for those requirements, like to fulfill those requirements, we create custom modules. So a module which is created for any specific project need are custom module. Basically, a custom module gives the flexibility to create new features for the website. Now let's create a custom module. So before doing it practically, there are some essential steps which I need which I need you guys to follow. So the first step is to create a custom folder. Okay, so this is a Drupal 9 structure. So you'll find so you have to create a custom folder inside this module section. Okay, this custom folder will be holding our module. Now the second step will be to create a short name. Okay, so we have to choose a short name for our module because um, I remember an incident where I was asked to download the project. So I cloned the project and I went through the source code, and there I found a module name which was as this: custom, do not delete the module. It contains schema and config. So by the way, and that's not Eric, that's me. Just kidding. My mind was blown when I saw this module name. So please ignore these naming convention and do not follow such naming conventions to name your module, because it's not appropriate. Also, it's very unprofessional for other devs to understand. So there are some important rules to follow while when selecting a machine name for the module. So it must start with a letter. It must contain only lowercase letters, right? Digits and underscore. It must not contain any spaces. It must not be longer than 50 characters. It must be unique, which is very important. Should not have the same short name as any other module, because you even don't want name your module uh, as the same name the other module has. So to differentiate, you should name your module differently, okay? Uniquely. And last, it should not be any of the reserved terms, which are SRC, lib, vendor, assets, and all. Now, step 3 will be to create a .info.yaml file. So why .info.yaml file is created? So Drupal doesn't know that your module exists in the project. So to notify Drupal about the existence of a module, we create .info.yaml. So basically it consists, or you can say it holds the information regarding the module, okay, for the web UI administration pages as well. Also, it can be used to provide criteria for Drupal version compatibility. Also, YAML is a data serialization format, so which is both powerful and easy for us to read and understand. So one of the reasons why YAML was chosen for Drupal 8 is because it is already used in Symfony. So yeah, that's why we use YAML file inside a module. So the next step will be to create a routing.yaml file. So we create this file to define routes. Okay, so what is a route? We can say like you can understand in a way that a route is a path which is defined for Drupal to return some sort of content. For example, after Drupal installation, there is a default front page, which is /node, which is a route. So when Drupal receives a request, it tries to match the requested part to a route it knows about it. So if the route is found, then the route's definition is used to return content. Otherwise, Drupal will return a 404 status. Okay. So each route is defined as machine name in the form of my module name dot route name. So for example, our route name will be hello module dot welcome. Now, the next step will be to create a controller. Okay. So controllers are responsible for controlling the flow of an application execution. So when you make a request, a controller is responsible for returning the response to that request. Controller takes request or information from the user and decides how to handle the request. So basically, controller can perform one or more action. It can also return different types and so on. So like there's a tons of functionality a controller you can do inside a controller. Okay. So for our module, the controller will be responsible to generate the body and returning it for the page. Now it's time for the demo. So now let's create a custom module. So I've already set up a Drupal 9 instance. You can see. So the first step was to create a custom folder, right? So this will hold our module. Let's give our module name hello module. Okay. So next step was to create info.yaml file. So this is the file which holds the information about the module, right? So basically it consists of three things, which is a key, a separator, and value. Let's give this type module. Description. Package custom. Core version environment will be, let's say, Drupal 9, and it will be also compatible for Drupal 10. So earlier we used to write code like this. So we don't write now like this because this key, this core key, uh, not core key, you can, so this is the new key basically. Earlier we used this core. So this key is basically not um, available for Drupal before 8.7.7. So the Drupal versions before 8.7.7 will not understand this key. So, so that's why we write code. So, but our module is but our Drupal is a 9 version, so we don't need this code key. Okay. So our info YML file is created. Now let's go to the module list page and search for a module. Here is our module. We'll install it. Great, our module is installed. Now, what this module will do? So basically, we are creating a module uh, which will which will have a controller, and inside a controller will show a body. Okay, so the controller will um, be used to generate a body and return to the page when a particular route is visited. So now let's create a controller. So for controller, we need a folder src and then controller. So this is the folder which will be holding our controller. So let's give the file name welcome controller.php. So this is the class name as well. So you have to name your file name as class name. So it both should have to be the same. Okay. We'll add a namespace. Now, what is a namespace? So a namespace is a way of organizing your classes into virtual folders. Okay. It ensures that your class does not conflict with another class with the same name. So basically, if I go to my slide again, you can see that it is a way of organizing your classes into virtual folder, which ensures that your class does not conflict with another class. So let's suppose there are two classes with the same name, ABC. Now, if I have to use ABC class in another file, then how will I differentiate that which ABC class I want to use? So there we will be using namespace, which will be used to identify that particular class. So if you were to use this welcome controller class in different namespace, you would include it with the use keyword and its namespace and then the class name. Okay. So here comes a question like if it's a way of organizing file folders inside a Drupal folder structure, right? So you might be thinking that it doesn't match the folder structure. Like if you see the namespace and the folder structure, so it should have been Drupal modules slash src slash controller, right? Why don't we do this? So the reason why module slash src is missing from the namespace is because namespace for Drupal modules are automatically mapped to the modules src folder. Okay, so you don't have to mention the full folder structure. It is automatically mapped to the modules src folder. Now let's create a class. Okay, so our class was welcome controller. Now let's create a function. This will be the body, and that's it. Now this controller won't work until and unless we create a route, right? So the next step will be to create a route. Now let's create a routing.yaml file. So this is our route name. This this file will hold some properties and information. So let's say this is the path property, and when I visit this slash welcome, the controller will be called and the body will be generated and it will return it for the page. This is the other array of properties, defaults. We'll be using controller. So this is used to refer the controller we just made. So how do we how do we refer? So we will be using namespaces, right? So Drupal hello module controller slash welcome controller and then the welcome function, which we have just created here. Let's say we want a title for this page. Welcome to text section. another array of properties, which is permission. Now this route is also created, and the controller is also created, and the info.yaml is also created. Now let's visit this path. Before that, let's clear the cache. Cool. So our route works, our controller is also working. Now, what if I want to add CSS styling into this? So there are multiple ways. The one way would be to just search for the class and apply CSS for this class. The other way uh, will be to create a template. Okay, so why we will be creating a template? Because this class will be common in Drupal. So the applied this so the custom CSS will also apply to other pages if this class is existing. So that's why we create template, and we can mention our own classes, our own divs, so that it will only work for this particular section. Okay. So how do we create a template? So we will be creating a template for this controller, because this is because the controller is responsible for returning the values, right? So what we'll do, we'll add a theme. Okay, let's name this theme welcome, and this body will be the variable in our template. So this variable will be accessible inside the template to fetch this detail. Okay, since we are applying CSS, so we will be having a CSS file. So so we have to attach that library as well. So we use attached for attaching the library. We have to create a library. So for libraries, we create a file named as module name dot libraries dot yaml. Okay, so this will be our library name, version 1.x, CSS theme, and this is our CSS file name. Okay, so we have to create a folder, CSS, which will be holding our style.css. Okay, now Drupal doesn't know that this theme exists. So to let to notify Drupal, or to make Drupal understand that this theme exists, we use hook theme. Okay, we use a hook, we use theme hook. So we'll create a dot module, So module dot module, right? Here we will implement our hook theme template information and variables which will be used in the template. Now, since we are creating a template, we need a template folder. This is the name of template. So we'll create a file. This is an extra file I copied. Now we implemented theme, hook theme to understand to make it identifiable for Drupal that okay, this theme exists, controller theme exists. We have created a template. We have attached a library as well. Uh, okay, so now let's work on template. It will be very simple. This we will just create a div, and inside div we'll create a paragraph. We'll use a paragraph tag and then name it, let's say, class. This class, let's say welcome. Now we use this variable body, and we have also passed the value of the body, so we can use this as a variable here. Now let's clear the cache and inspect it. So you can see it is picking our template. Now let's add some CSS. Let's say we want to change the color to red. We'll go to CSS and simply use the class's name. So we want to make it red, so we'll pick the body text class. Okay. Now let's clear the cache. And that's how you attach a library for CSS. And that's how you create a controller theme as well, using and implementing hook theme inside your file, inside your module. So yeah, thank you. I hope this was helpful. So do you have any questions?
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I had an amazing time learning all the new things here at SpecBees TechX. And if you did too, do let us know in the comments below. Keep following SpecBee for the latest trends in technology. See you in the next one.